July 3, 1988, 10 o'clock in the morning, the southern coast of Iran, Bandar Abbas Airport, the terminal air conditioning struggles against the 100-degree summer heat. 290 people sit in the departure lounge, families, businessmen, children clutching small toys. They're all waiting for flight 655 to Dubai. It's just a 27-minute hop across the water, a flight shorter than a morning commute. A mother adjusts the collar on her son's shirt. A man folds a newspaper. The boarding passes are torn and the passengers file out onto the blinding tarmac. The jet engines of the Airbus A300 whine to life. The heavy cabin doors pull shut, locking into place with a solid metallic thud. Welcome back to Ghost of the Grid. The cases the headlines missed. Sit back, get comfortable. This is the story of a 27-minute flight that wrote a 38-year script for global gridlock. And honestly, it's not what most people would think. The Persian Gulf in the late 1980s is the world's most lucrative, volatile bottleneck. The Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the global oil supply, flows through a channel of water barely 21 miles wide. It is the absolute artery of the modern economy, but it is also a war zone. The Iran-Iraq war is bleeding into the sea. Commercial oil tankers are taking fire. To keep the lights on in western cities, the United States Navy steps in. Heavily armed American warships begin escorting civilian tankers through the narrow, shallow waters. It's a fragile, high-stakes choreography of merchant ships and naval cruisers slipping past Iranian shores. But, honestly, the water is tense. Radar screens flicker with unidentified contacts. Sonar pings echo through steel hulls. On April 14th, an American frigate strikes an Iranian mine. The baseline of tense neutrality cracks open. April 18, 1988, Operation Praying Mantis. The United States Navy unleashes hell on the Iranian fleet. In a single day, American forces sink half of Iran's operational navy right there in the Strait of Hormuz. It's a swift, overwhelming demonstration of conventional power. The message is clear: the water belongs to the U.S. The Gulf falls into an uneasy rhythm. American ships patrol the strait. Iranian forces watch from the coastline. The summer heat sets in. July 3rd, the day before the American Independence Day, a U.S.-guided missile cruiser, the USS Vincennes, is actively patrolling near the strait. Radar operators sit in the darkened Combat Information Center. Screens glow green. At 10:47 a.m., a contact appears. It is ascending from the Iranian coast, heading directly toward the American warship. The crew tries to establish radio contact on military and civilian channels. Silence. The contact keeps coming. The profile on the screen looks like an F-14 Tomcat, an attack fighter. The captain makes a call. 2 surface-to-air missiles tear out of the launch tubes. 2 streaks of white smoke carve through the clear summer sky. The missiles find their target. The radar contact vanishes. The incident hits the global press. The United States announces a tragic military mistake in a combat zone, an error born from the fog of war. Vice President George H.W. Bush stands before the cameras and delivers a sentence that makes headlines around the world. "I will never apologize for the United States. I don't care what the facts are." The tragedy is filed away as collateral damage. 2 years later, the captain of the Vincennes receives the Legion of Merit for exceptionally meritorious conduct. The book on July 3, 1988 is officially closed. Remember the Airbus A300 idling on the tarmac at Bandar Abbas, the mother adjusting her son's collar? Here is what it really was. The contact on the radar wasn't an F-14, it was Iran Air Flight 655, 290 civilians obliterated over the waters of Qeshm Island. It wasn't an isolated tragedy, it was the psychological ground zero for a geopolitical earthquake. What do you think about it? Drop a comment below. Ghost of the Grid runs on what you spot. When the United States sank half the Iranian Navy in April, it taught Tehran a brutal lesson. Honestly, they realized they could never win a conventional war, and when Flight 655 fell from the sky in July, it cemented something else entirely. It forged a 38-year doctrine of asymmetrical warfare. The waters around Qeshm Island basically became a laboratory. No more large warships, just fast attack boats, thousands of cheap naval mines, suicide drones, and covert missile strikes on tankers. The exact doctrine that now chokes global trade was, in a way, born in the wreckage of that Airbus. Fast forward to 2026. The calendar changes, but the choreography does not. Iran is laying naval mines in the Strait of Hormuz, right off the coast of Qeshm Island, the exact stretch of water where Flight 655 went down. In response, the United States launches Operation Project Freedom. American warships are escorting commercial tankers through a mined strait. It's a perfect, honestly terrifying mirror of the 1980s tanker war. But the echo is louder than just the water. In 1988, Iran's then-president stood over the wooden coffins of 290 civilians. He used the American medal pinned to the chest of the Vincennes captain, and Bush's refusal to apologize, to build an iron wall of resistance. He argued that the United States would never admit fault, so negotiation was surrender. When American politicians in the modern era say Iran must pay a price, the Iranian response is anchored entirely to the image of that medal. That president became the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. Give it a like and tell the algorithm this story deserves to be heard by more people. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launch a massive air war against Iran. Under the cover of night, precision strikes dismantle the Iranian leadership. Ali Khamenei is killed. The man who forged his regime's anti-American identity over the bodies of Flight 655, who spent 38 years building a shadow military to avenge that era, dies in the exact same conflict loop he helped create. The circle, drawn in the summer of 1988, finally closes. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes with a deafening volume. You can sink a navy in an afternoon, but the ghosts left in the water will dictate the terms of engagement for decades. Please leave subscribe. The next ghost is already waiting.
I use AI tools to make these videos, but behind every case is hours of manual work. If this stayed with you, leave a like and subscribe please. If you want to support the channel directly, Patreon link is in the description. See you!